We're live. Hi, this is Paul Bursey from SuccessCafe.tv, and with me is.
Hi, this is Warren Connolly from SuccessCafe.tv.
So the reason we're laughing is we nearly missed the start. So today's subject is make a decision, stick or twist. So let me explain what the stick or twist is, because that might have tweaked your interest or curiosity. And it's all about making a decision, really, because if you're a gambler, like some of us are on occasions, albeit pennies, there comes a time when you have to make a decision. Either you throw your cards in, all right, you buy a card, or you just get them to turn one over. Now, it depends on what game you're playing as to whether you have to pay for that card. But you have to make a decision. Either way, there's no time to dwell. You have to get on with it. And we're faced with many, many decisions in a day. And most of us don't even realize we're making decisions. Okay. So now we're not really talking about those silly little decisions that we all have to make every day. What we're talking about is either major decisions or decisions that are very important. Okay. Because we still make decisions every day that are quite small ones, but are quite important. Whether to pay the gas bill or eat for some people. And we've all been there. But so do you make decisions fast or slow, Warren?
Both.
Okay. Do you want to split it down a little bit and give us a clue as to how it would affect different decisions?
If it's an urgent decision that needs to be made, but if it's something that I don't necessarily want to be doing, okay, but it's quite urgent, I tend to be a little bit slow on the uptake of my decision making then. If it's an urgent decision that is urgent and absolutely necessary, and there's not really much choice in whether you're going to do it or not, but you need to make a decision on what action you're going to take. I'm pretty quick on the uptake on that. And if it's other decisions that are related to the well-being of my own environment, then I'm quite quick on the decision, deciding there and then what I need to do or what needs to happen. But very often, and I think this is the same for many people, is that when it comes to the decision that it's something that you should be doing, it needs to be done, but you don't particularly want to be doing it, that's when the slow decision making comes into play, I think. Yeah. And also if somebody's trying to sell me something, if someone's trying to sell me something, then I tend to make quite a quick decision on it.
Yeah, I mean, as I've mentioned before, I remember going into an Audi garage and telling the salesman that I wanted to buy an Audi. It wasn't. I'm not there. I was there to buy an Audi, which I did. By the time I walked out, I bought one. And it's also knowing what you want. It's a bit of clarity as well, isn't it? I mean, because there've been other times when I've not made a decision. And once you get into that frame of mind, sometimes it can be very hard to get back to making that decision.
Yeah.
There are going to be times when you rush a decision and it's wrong. And there are times when you go slowly and you're wrong. Okay. So it's about being aware. It's about being intelligent and knowing what it is that you want in your life, albeit small decisions. And I'll give an example. We're both in a business opportunity. Okay, we're in the same business opportunity, and when Dave came to me, I'd already signed up before he'd even show me anything. I didn't even know what it was about. and I'll tell you why. Because I knew the person, I liked the person, and I trusted the person, and I believed in him.
Yes.
If he was coming to me with something, it had to be good. And so I didn't join straight away, but I'd made the decision to join. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
yeah.
even if I left it a week, I think I probably registered straight away, but actually to pay any money took maybe a week, 10 days. I don't remember, but I was already in, you know, and that is the quality of the person that's giving you, you know, giving the opportunity. Now, you've also got to think about, you've got to know whether the business or the person has integrity. You've got to know whether they're honest. Okay, and you've got to know whether it's ethical or not.
Mm-hmm.
So now I mean, I don't know about other people. I can only relate it to myself. Is that when I was a police officer, I had to make the 7-second decisions, sometimes quicker than that. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I've got to say, very, very rarely made the wrong decision. Now, maybe that's due to the job I was doing. I don't really know, but I'm used to making fast decisions. The great thing about entrepreneurs is they make rapid decisions, because if they make the wrong decision, you find out much quicker.
Yeah, that's true.
You can do a U-turn.
And it can actually save you a lot of heartache at the end of the day.
Yeah, so I think that's important. Now, this is why I think you should make fast decisions when you're talking about an opportunity with an employer, not employer. Sorry, when you're confronted with an opportunity and you're dealing with something that you know and know well, and that is because of time. You know, because most of us are not getting any younger. Okay, we have people of all ages, but it doesn't matter what age you are. There's still only just over 86,000 seconds in a day, and you can't stop the clock. You know, time is moving, and you need to make decisions. Now, if you need to evaluate something, if you need to find out some information, you could do that all in the same day. Don't go for one of these long, let's do a bit each day and find out a bit each day. No, find it all out on the day. Make a decision. Get it out, because it will affect your thinking. There's only so much room up there, okay? And you've only got so much willpower. You've only got so much energy to make these decisions. Make it fast, or spend 3 or 4 hours looking at something, go through it thoroughly, make a decision, live with it. Even if you say no, you can always go back to it. Mm-hmm. For now, or for that day, you've made a decision, and it just frees up your mind so you can start thinking about other things.
Well, you can actually start thinking about what's really important, because whether you make a decision yes or no, it's not really important. Not really the important thing, because as you said, if you make a decision to say no in the beginning, you can always go back to the later stage. And even if you make a decision to say yes in the beginning, no matter what it is you're doing, there's always an opportunity to pull out. You know, there's always an opportunity to just turn around, stop, and say, "Okay, hang on a second. You know, time out here. I need to think about what I'm doing." There's always, you always have that right. You're an adult at the end of the day, so it's up to you. It's your decision. The biggest challenge for many people, Paul, is that people they're too much up in here when it comes to decision making. Too much up here, and not enough in here in themselves. You know, we become so conditioned to think a lot that we're not actually. Yeah, we're not. So many people, I think the way I see it is that they think themselves into a state of paralysis.
Yeah.
You know, they look at something, and then they try to either overanalyze it, or they try to just always question and look at it from so many different angles that they end up thinking too much, and it doesn't serve them any good at all, because it just stalls the process. Number one. Number two, the more you think about something, the more doubt you leave, available on the table to play a part, and then it doesn't help you at all, because then even if you do make a decision to go with something, to do something, to take part in something, to start something, and but it's taken you like an age to make that decision, even if you say yes, you're going to have an element of doubt in your mind at the end of the day. And it could be the right decision, by you saying yes, maybe a life-changing decision that you've made, but you're going to end up having some element of doubt in your mind nonetheless, which is going to slow you down. It's going to draw energy from you. It's going to hold you back, and it's going to get you questioning unnecessary questions for the sake of, just for the sake of pleasing your mind and pleasing this thing up here, your monkey brain. So yeah, this is a challenge that a lot of people will face in life, in terms of making major decisions or even relatively large decisions, and that could be life changing for themselves, because they think too much. There's not enough.
There's not enough. Sorry, I cut out a bit there. You said there's not enough. Oh, hang on. You've cut out your volume. Oh, it's better. Now I can hear you now.
Yeah. So what I was trying to say is that they've lost trust in themselves.
Yeah, I get that. We've all done that, I think, some stage. But I think it's what I would say is, you heard me mention a minute ago the fact that you've only got so much room up here, and we were talking about decision making now. You can't, there have been times at work and things like that where I've had to make a lot of decisions in a short space of time, and had to go with the decision. Okay, now that's fine. If you're in a fast-paced world, then that's the way it has to be. However, basically, what entrepreneurs do, the ones that are fast-paced and they want to clear the deck. So I would say simplify your life, simplify your business, declutter, clear your desk. Just have a couple of things on there, like a phone, the laptop, maybe a notepad, and a pen. There's maybe a couple of other things, but keep it simple. And the reason being is that, when someone comes along and says something, or you have to make a decision, you can make it quickly, because there's not much you've got to think about.
Mm-hmm.
If someone comes along with a business opportunity, say, well, look, I haven't got the time. No, I can't do anything else. I don't want to do anything else. I'm concentrating on my one priority. And that's it. It's done. It's immediate. There's nothing else to think about. Don't get fooled by shiny objects. I've done it so many times, and join 2 or 3 programs and things like that, So, don't do that. Stay with what you're doing, and you'll get to the decision quicker if you just concentrate on one thing, because what you think it may be, maybe isn't. But if you did 2 or 3 things, it'd be like bits of paper on top of a bit of paper. You might come to that bit of paper in a month's time, and it's cost you money. So it's very important about learning to make decisions. Look, the people we should be learning from are women. They don't know how to make decisions, because they're buyers. They're buyers. They go along and they buy things. There's no decision there. The only problems a decision costs you when it's a woman is that you have to stand around and wait for them. I've got about 20 outfits there. No, go and have a coffee. Let them do it. And say, come back when you bought something. I'm joking. But I think everyone knows where I am. So
even when it comes to our, for example, our purchases of clothing, it's best just to say, I'm going to go have a cup of coffee. You choose what you want for me, and then let me come back when you finish, and I'll try them on, and then we see where it takes us from there. I think this is the case. This is the case.
Maybe for you.
Guys. No. Honestly, no.
For me, I go out to buy a pair of trousers, and I know where I'm going for it, and I go there and I buy it, and then I'm done. Unless I've got something else I want to buy, but you get what I'm saying. Whereas a woman, they'll go to like 5 or 6 shops, don't they? And they they go out ambling. No, that's cool. That's cool, because we're different animals.
Yeah, But I'm like that. I'm like that. If I go to, I could just go buy a simple pair of jeans, and it's going to take me about I don't know how many times to try on different ones before I make a decision as to what pair of
That's
jeans I want
me.
to buy. I am quite indecisive when it comes to stuff like that for myself.
I fall in love with these things. I fall in love with things like cars, and I'll get a car. It could be an expensive car. It could be one worth £500, and I fall in love with them. So I don't want to get rid of them. But once they're gone, once you do get rid of them, I'm not in love with them anymore. They're gone. But while they're there, but I make decisions with especially with vehicles. Like, yeah, I'll have that. Look at it. And yeah. So
that happened with me with an Alfa Romeo as well. I'd made a decision I was going to buy an Alfa Romeo.
Have you test driven it?
I hadn't even test driven it yet.
Oh, you've got to do it. You must do it. Go and test drive it.
Hang on. So I made a decision I was going to buy one, and then I go to the showroom, and it was on the showroom floor. And then I go to the showroom when it was open, and I go to inquire about that Alfa Romeo. And the guy said to me, "Sorry, it's no longer for sale. It's been sold." So I said, "But then why is it on your showroom floor? I want to buy it." So he offered me an alternative option, but I was there to buy an Alfa Romeo. He offered me an alternative option. I didn't quite like it, and then he offered me a second alternative, which was a completely different Alfa Romeo. But I ended up buying it because it was beautiful, and it was just it wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but when I saw it, I test drove it. My wife and I, we went for a drive with the sales guy in the car, and immediately I fell in love with it. Immediately, yeah. So,
my one, I made the decision, and then he said, "What seats do you want in it?" So I went, "Leather." He said, "What colour?" And I went, "Grey, dark grey, And he said, "Get down and smell the leather." Yeah, see where I'm going with this, can't you? I mean, to be fair, normally when someone tries to sell you, you back off a bit, don't you? And but he didn't have to. He just guided me in the right direction.
True.
And I chose everything in that car: the colour,
all the bells and whistles,
seats, the wheels, the chrome the chrome wheels. The wheels are a fortune.
Chrome hubcaps.
And I don't always do this. I've only done this 2 or 3 times, but I'm just saying there's nothing better. I mean, it's just something you have to experience. You don't spend all your time doing it, but I'm just saying it's really nice and to do it on the odd occasion. But let's get back to making decisions here. Now, obviously, we can't talk about everything, but procrastination. Not getting on with making the decision, putting it off. Someone could come along, and I wrote this down. It said, "Never look a gift horse in the mouth." Okay, so don't question the value of a gift. I'm reading this from on the side here, but the proverb refers to the practice of evaluating the age of a horse by looking at its teeth. Okay, this is where it comes from. This practice is also the source of the expression "long in the tooth." Okay, meaning old. Now, the only difference to that was if you're if you're a Trojan, you've got to be very careful about the gift that's left behind. The Trojan horse. Yeah, I think everyone knows about that. The story.
Most people watching this will know about the Trojan horse. Yeah.
Yeah. So but generally speaking, someone comes along with a great opportunity, and it looks great. And you know what people are like. They doubt, don't they? They say, "Well, if it looks that good, it probably isn't." But it could be.
But this is the other thing: is that this is when it comes to decision making, when it's something that is how to put it, if it's related to something that is of risk to us, potentially our safety or our financials or anything like that, then people will often revert back to stereotypical societal mantras or beliefs or things like this. They will say if it's too good to be true, then it is too good to be true. If it looks too good to be true, then it is. That's BS.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. That's what I was trying
that
to
is
get.
absolute. But so many people will think about that because this is a belief, that this is a mantra or a saying, an expression that they've heard throughout their life. Like money doesn't grow on trees, for example. Then when you tell somebody that you have the potential to make an exponential income for yourself, on a weekly or monthly basis, they don't believe that. They can't see it in their head because it comes with the belief that money does not grow on trees. You understand? And it's not, and it doesn't have to be that exact expression. It can be anything related to the lack of finances, the lack of money. When somebody tells you that you have an opportunity to determine what income you want to make, they look at you and think in their head, but money doesn't grow on trees. So what are you talking about?
Yeah,
You understand? And then the decision making becomes very fast because now that filter will come up immediately, and the decision will be made in an instant, not to embark down that journey, because the filter will come up automatically. And this is unfortunately where people have become so part of that program, that programming, that they don't even think about it, and they don't make the decisions consciously anymore, because all the decision making that we typically do gets done for us subconsciously based on exactly what I've just spoken about.
I think some people need to climb out of the rut sometimes, even just to have a look. Just because sometimes you're in a rut, and we've all been there probably, and sometimes you don't even know you're in the rut. So shake yourself up occasionally. Just make sure you're not in a rut, which is basically what a grave with the ends knocked out. So you can just walk along. It's
if you're in a rut, you're in a rut. That's what it is, and you need to look for people that can help you get out of that rut. It's no point in being in a rut with other people that are in the rut with you and wanting to stay in that rut, because then it's like that old picture, the picture with the frogs. And you see the videos of the frogs in a jar or something like that, and they're trying to find their way out, but they keep slipping all over each other, and then just never really get anywhere. They're trying to climb over each other. They're slipping back down again, and they're not actually getting anywhere to get out. But if you're in that rut, then you want to be looking for somebody that can help you get out of that rut. I mean, that's what I would think, logically speaking, and anybody that has been in a rut and has managed to get out of a rut will understand that you can't necessarily do it on your own. There might be occasions where you can.
No, look, none of us do it on our own, really. There's always. But what I would say is get your own jar and make sure it's got a bloody door in it. An escape hatch, and I don't mean escaping from what you're doing. I mean, just give yourself more options. That's what I'm saying. Very, very important. So, if you've got something that works, don't change it. That's another good thing. Don't make a decision for the sake of making a decision. If you're in a business, let's say, and you've got something that works, you don't need to change it. You might be able to tweak it slightly just to make it a little bit better, but don't change it. So now, what was I going to say?
Blockbusters never thought that they were going to need to tweak their business because they were doing so well, and they never thought they needed to tweak their business. Now look at them.
Yeah, your business does need to move with the times.
Always,
most definitely. And they've got to move with the times before it's before it's needed. Yeah. So that's a bit of vision. That's keeping abreast of everything's happening in your business, and it's a bit like advertising. You don't necessarily, if you've got something working, don't necessarily change it, but work 2 or 3 things alongside it as well, so that if one stops, you're not completely lost. You've got other things working. I think that's important. But a lot of people do, because we are creatures of habit, tend to stay doing what we're doing. I think sometimes you need to shake it up a bit, and that it makes it easier for making decisions.
It doesn't have to be all the time, but if you just do it if you're doing from time to time,
Yeah.
It keeps you young. It keeps you healthier. It keeps you more alert. It keeps you more proactive. Keeps you more engaged by shaking things up a little bit from time to time. You're having to learn constantly needing to engage with other individuals or yourself and teams and what have you, and then you're challenging yourself invariably, by shaking things up. You end up challenging yourself some way, somehow. So it keeps you healthier and younger at the same time. This is something that, I mean, when we become stuck in this rut, or for choice of a better word, a better expression, perhaps this this reality that we no longer want to be part of. If this is you speaking, if this is you listening to this, if this sounds like you, what typically might happen is that you've become so conditioned to where you are, you become so comfortable and complacent as to where you are, that your ability to think and make decisions clearly is limited because of your experiences, your memories, the data, your experiences that you've had up till now. So you kind of you tend to make judgment calls based on what you know and what you think you know. And unfortunately, too many of us think we know stuff about stuff, that we stop asking the questions because we think we know it all, but we don't actually know anything. And we stop asking questions because people have told us not to ask questions because questions are stupid.
I've just had a knock at the door. Can you just carry on for just a second? Sorry.
Sure. Help, Paul! Don't go! Don't leave us, Paul!
Don't panic.
Now, I know anyone that's going to be watching at this point is not going to be listening to me. They're going to be waiting to hear who's at the door.
That's all right, mate. That's it, yeah. Right. Just doing my just doing my Good Samaritan bit.
Welcome back, Paul. Good man. Good man. Well, it was Wednesday. So it's help. I trust it was a Wealth Wednesday Samaritan thing. So something to do.
Yeah, looking after something for someone. But so life is about making decisions, right? And I think that this is my perspective on it. You may not agree. I don't know. But I think that we should all try and up our boldness and confidence and our make powerful decisions. You will feel so much better for it at the end of the day. And, I said to you at the start that I make fast decisions. Now, I did a little bit of searching on the internet, and I found, funny enough, and it was an article saying a seven-step decision-making strategy. Okay, and they listed these 7 things, which I'm not going to go through. Okay, because I looked at it and I went, I get it, I understand it, and I understand where in certain circumstances you would do that. I like making fast decisions. I'll do it. I'm just, it says here, logical and ordered process. Nah.
Well, maybe if you're an accountant or someone of that ilk,
yes,
then perhaps
if you're what we call a green person, and maybe an engineer or a person that needs all the information before they make a decision. If you want to go down that route, do it. I mean, I would still do all this, but I do it in my pace, my way.
An entrepreneur will typically go 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah. Or as Mel Robbins says, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
It's like
just go and do
psychologically, it makes you go when you hit 1. But But the key is really, look, you're more intelligent than you think you are. Okay.
Oh, yes.
I know someone probably challenge that, but I can tell you are extremely bright. You've been around some time. You know how to make decisions. I think you just maybe forgot how to do it.
Yes.
Make fast decisions, because I'll tell you now, most of them will be right. Most of them will be right.
Yeah,
Because
in the beginning, it may not. Sorry, in the beginning, it may not for some people because they just, as I touched on earlier, people just have forgotten how to trust their intuition. And when
yeah,
you make a fast decision, you typically are following what you think. You're processing based on your intuition, really, and you kind of your gut. You get that gut feeling whether something's good or not for you, whether it's the right decision or not the right decision. In the beginning, you may make a few mistakes, but the more you
oh, yeah.
trust it, and the more you go along with that, the more efficient and proficient your decision making will become. You're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah, you are right. There are occasions when you get a gut feeling about something. You think something's not right here. That's fine.
Mm.
I agree with that. But look at it this way: if you're driving, you ain't got time for a gut decision.
Well,
Okay,
the decision you make is
things
that's
happen.
instinct.
They happen fast, and you have to be
Mhm.
instinctive. Believe in yourself. You know, and go with the flow. Go with the flow with it. I mean, all I'm trying to get you away from, and I think this is what it's about, is putting the decision off and end up not making the decision. I think that's the biggest thing. Okay. And that's the reason I'm pushing the fast decision. Now, the fast decision for you may be over a couple of hours. That's fast. That's fast. Don't get me wrong. You know,
I think
but,
it depends on the magnitude of the decision as well.
yeah, it does. There are different types of decisions, and and some are life and death decisions. Um,
I've just looked at I've just been looking at reading at two decisions that have been made recently in South Africa from a sporting franchise perspective. A rugby team, my local rugby team from where I grew up, they just acquired recently an investment from a holding company from the US. Okay, it took them apparently a matter of 3 weeks for the deal to be done. Okay, so the holding company have purchased a majority share of the franchise, and they come with a lot of experience and background and expertise and all kinds of stuff, and obviously a lot of financial clout. And that decision was made within a space of 3 weeks, apparently. And then the same team recently acquired the captain, South Africa's captain, just now, and apparently that decision itself as well was made within the space of weeks.
yeah.
And it's because if you look at the CEO of the franchise, he is a business decision maker. He knows how to make decisions. He's an ex-rugby player himself, but he's studied and he understands the importance of making quick decisions because it's just benefited them. I don't know how many fold it's benefited the franchise by having that holding company as an investment firm as part of their portfolio now. And then on top of that, they've just acquired the captain for South Africa that led South Africa to the World Cup victory in 2019. So that,
Yeah.
decisions like that, you can't linger. You can't go with the mindset.
I agree. And what you can do is, I bet the bulk of that decision was made very, very quickly, but then they
True.
just need to check a few things, like the financial backing of different things and make sure it's legitimate and so 3 weeks for that type of decision is quick.
Yeah, very quick.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not a matter of 5 minutes. I don't want to give that impression, but when you see something, I bet you know near enough straight away whether you like it or not. Okay, then you can go away and do the depending on how the size of the decision. But let's get away. All I'm trying to get away from is really not making a decision. You could say not making a decision is a decision, but
It is a
most times,
decision. You're right.
most times it is about making a decision. So, but Brian Taylor said, "Hi guys, happy birthday for Paul for yesterday." Thank you, Brian. That's very nice. So,
21 again.
So before we finish up, just quickly, what's a good decision you've made? Apart from choosing your wife, of course, or she chose you.
Yeah, we chose each other. One of the best quick decisions I've ever made in my life was to take up an offer to go speak up on stage, and do work speaking on stage. Because prior to that, I never ever saw myself being able to speak on stage and speak in front of large crowds of people. And somebody came to me with an opportunity, and I immediately made a decision. I just jumped at it for some reason. I don't know why, and because that helped my confidence. Like, oh man, my confidence grew from learning how to speak in front of school kids, like thousands of school kids at a time, kind of thing. And then another big decision for me was making the almost immediate decision to leave South Africa in 2006 to travel to Dubai to go work there when I was offered an opportunity. It was almost just an immediate decision. I immediately knew it was the right thing to do. So, those are two very big, significant ones, besides my wife.
Yeah. So,
Accepting her proposal.
Yeah. Well, sometimes these proposals, they're good proposals, aren't they? So you've got to make a decision, But so with that, can you think of anything else that we haven't covered? I mean, it's a funny subject to cover because everyone's got their different rates of or speed of making decisions, and as I said it again, all I want is for people to make the right decision for them, but don't get in that position where you just become ineffective, and don't make a decision. So
and then nothing happens as a result.
Yeah.
Look, I'd like to finish off by just saying that if there's anyone that's watching this video that is struggling with decision making and procrastination has become a part of their life as a result of it, then if you are looking for a solution, or if you now after watching this video would like to look for a solution, a possible solution, let's put it that way, for you, then reach out to me, and I'd love to share some advice and tips with you on how to do that.
Yeah, same goes for me as well. I mean, obviously it's that's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because not being able to make a decision can really truly ruin your life. It can potentially ruin your life and your livelihood if you sit too long on decisions. It's happened with me. I know it's happened with pretty much everybody.
Yeah, talking about going on stage. The first time I went on stage was when I was 11.
Oh, wow. Okay.
11. And I stayed every week as well. It wasn't a case of one off, but and I was always nervous. always. I went on stage in 2009, and I went to pieces. In a nice way, not in a because I was talking from the heart. But so it is about confidence. It is don't be afraid about making decisions. You'll know if you've made a good or a bad decision. You'll know quickly.
Yeah.
But don't hang around. Get on with it. So
you just got to trust what your body's telling you, how your body feels in the decision making. Just trust how your body feels. Yeah, don't listen too much to this. Yeah, just trust what this is telling you, the body, and that takes some effort sometimes. It takes understanding as to what to look for, how to listen to it, and then there is a way to do that.
Yeah, I mean, when we used to run just lastly, when I used to run a team, let's say you were looking at a business opportunity and there were 6 things you had to look at. I'd just be very fast and go bang, 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 and I'd look at it very fast, and I can make the decision very quickly. I don't want to think about it overnight. There's nothing to think about. It's either good or it isn't. You either like it or you don't.
Yeah.
It's but you can do it. You can do all the investigation and everything very quickly. And I tell you, if you investigate or examine too closely, you will always find negative stuff. Always.
Anything.
Always.
Anything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. It could be the best thing since last bed. It could be about Richard Branson. You'll find negative stuff on him.
Oh yeah, you can same applies. The same is applicable with Apple and Samsung and any of these big brands, Nike, Adidas. If you look carefully into them, you're going to find a lot of negative things about that, about the brand. That's look, there's also one other thing as well, is that when it comes to decision making, we often, because we don't trust our own decision making, we ask the advice of other people who have absolutely no clue or idea
I know.
what they are talking about, let alone what you are talking about. And they then persuade you in your decision making where there's no experience involved. It's a completely biased perspective. Whether it be right or wrong, it's irrelevant, but there's no objectivity there, because it's, that person has no experience, no background in regarding, this is not just in our industry, but this is across the board. Some, like, for example, when I first left the hotel industry and I wanted to go into fitness and health and wellness and all that, I was told not to do it. There's no future. There's nothing in there. There's no prospects for me or anything like that. But they had no idea. The people that were giving me the advice at the time had no idea what they were talking about, because they had no experience in that industry. And I just thank God every day that I actually did make the decision to leave the hotel industry and jump into the fitness and health industry, because when I did, it changed my life. That's another big decision that I made, was moving from one to the other. And I had many detractors that were trying to persuade me not to do it, because they saw a future for me in the hotel industry. And I just didn't see a future for myself in that industry. There was nothing there for me. So I'm just glad I made that decision at that time.
Yeah. I used just a couple of decisions that I made. One, to go in the police. Everyone tried to talk me out of it. But I made a decision like that to do it, and I stuck with it. And 35 years later, type of thing, to run a marathon, made a decision like that, did it. Took 2 years for me to get up to my standard I wanted to. At age, I think it was about 10 or 11. I wasn't very good at football, loved football. So I practiced non-stop, 2 years, got a professional trial. So I went from, so that's what I'm talking about, making a decision. Make a decision to do something. And lastly, I'll just say that Sir Richard Branson, he says, screw it, let's do it. And really, that's it in a nutshell. So,
I've read that book. Actually.
Yes, right. There's two. There's a shortened version and there's a big thick one.
Yes.
Two different versions.
The shortened version. Yeah.
I've got both of them. So, but anyway, listen. Look, I wish you all the success you're willing to work towards. If you need help with making decisions, you as well. Yeah. But so if you need any help making decisions, as Warren said, contact us. You can do it through this page. Okay?
Please.
Successcafe.tv. We look forward to hearing from you. Great. I'm done. And have a great rest of the week. And we'll see you on Friday on healthierlife.tv. And we'll go from there.
So we will.
Right.
Enjoy, everybody.
I'm ending the broadcast. Thanks for listening. Speak to you soon.